guys, welcome back to a brand new YouTube video of Gov and Go with Sam
and Brian.
Today we're going to talk about a little bit about the Selective Incorporation and what it is in the early era of America, the Constitution limited the Bill of Rights to the federal government alone, but through its ratification of the 14th Amendment and beyond its promise of birthright citizenship, its process of selective incorporation allowed the Supreme Court to begin applying fundamental freedoms to the state, reshaping American life one case at a time, from free speech to the right to bear arms. A constitutional shift transformed individual rights from promises to on paper into protections nationwide.
The 14th Amendment consisted of two very important clauses. The first ensured that all people born within the jurisdiction of the United States would be classified as U.S. citizens. And the second, which is the focus of our video today, is that it stated that no state shall make or enforce any laws which shall abridge the privileges or immunities of citizens of the United States.
Yeah, because in addition, it also included provisions that deny states the ability to deny their constituents of fundamental rights without due process of law, to deny any people within its jurisdiction equal protection of the law.
Yeah. The part that we will focus on for the rest of the video is the second clause, most commonly known as the Due Process Clause. And it emphasizes that state governments cannot infringe upon fundamental rights, such as stripping away a person's life, liberty, or property without fair legal procedures.
Yeah. Selective incorporation then is the process through which the Supreme Court decided through the rulings that some rights in the Bill of Rights also apply to the state governments through the Due Process Clause of the 14th Amendment to the United States of the Constitution.
To better understand the importance of the effects of the 14th Amendment, and more specifically its Selective Incorporation Clause, we have to look at the rulings over state infringement of amendments in the Bill of Rights.
Before the 14th Amendment was put into effect in 1868, a ruling over the state infringement of rights of the Bill of Rights as well as the magnitude of the power of the state of government.
Barron v. Baltimore decided in 1833, John Barron, a Baltimore wharf owner, alleged that construction by the city had diverted water flow in the harbor area.
He argued that sand accumulations in the harbor deprived Barron of deep waters, which reduced his profits, and thus sued the city and recovered a portion of his financial loss,
which the state appellate court then proceeded to strike down.
The main question was over the Fifth Amendment could deny the states, as well as the national government, the right to take property for public use without compensating the property owners.
The Fifth Amendment most importantly stated that no private property should be taken for public use without just compensation. In this case, the state was the one that had deprived him of deep waters, which was directly correlated to his profits.
And in the unanimous decision, the court ruled that the limitations articulated in the Fifth Amendment were specifically intended to limit the powers of the national government, not the state.
He believed that the development of the Bill of Rights was an exclusive check on solely federal power. And thus meant that the court had no jurisdiction in the case because the Fifth Amendment was not applicable to the states.
Before the inclusion of the 14th Amendment, SCOTUS interpreted the Bill of Rights as strictly limiting the federal government, not the state governments, and this gave too much power to the state governments because citizens did not have the same protection from the state's behaviors.
After the adoption of the 14th Amendment in 1868, amendments in the Bill of Rights were selectively incorporated, as each right within the amendment had to be incorporated through the 14th Amendment and a Supreme Court decision to affect the states.
The first act of the Selective Incorporation was at Gitlow v. New York in 1925.
Gitlow was a socialist and was arrested in 1919 for distributing a pamphlet that called for the establishment of socialism through strikes and public demonstrations.
Under anarchy law in New York, he was punished because he was trying to overthrow the government by force. He believed that because of no action ended up occurring, the statute could not penalize him for his actions.
The main question was if the Fifth Amendment could prevent a state from punishing political speech that directly advocates for the government's violent overthrow.
Although Gitlow was convicted in 72 decisions, the court also partly reversed the precedent set in Barrow v. Whitmore.
The court believed unanimously that although the Bill of Rights was designed to limit the power of the federal government, the incorporation of the amendment through the 14th Amendment's Due Process Clause allowed it to be applied to the states.
Yeah. This case really set up most of the other cases involved in selective incorporation, and most notably, McDonald v. Chicago, 2010.
After the Supreme Court's first decision in District of Columbia v. Heller, where SCOTUS ruled a handgun ban unconstitutional, because the law in question was enacted under the authority of the federal government, many including McDonald's sued.
The question that was asked was whether the Second Amendment could be applied to the states because it is incorporated by the 14th Amendment's privileges and immunities or due process clauses and thereby applicable to the states.
In a 5-4 decision, the Supreme Court ruled that because they had previously ruled that the right to bear arms in self-defense is a fundamental and deeply rooted right, the Second Amendment applied to the states. Justice Alito, writing in plurality, wrote that the Due Process Clause of the 14th Amendment incorporated the Second Amendment right recognized in the earlier decision.
As you can see, selective incorporation has been a fundamental attribute a lot ever since it has been established, has acted as a way of being able to check the power of the states and restore fundamental rights we all should have because of the Bill of Rights.
But now we will move on to questions to test how much you guys really know and retain from what we just said.
Moving on to the multiple choice questions, as you can see on the screen. Question number 1. What is the main purpose of the selective incorporation through the 14th Amendment? A. To allow the states to ignore the Bill of Rights. B. To apply certain protections in the Bill of Rights to the states. C. To give the federal government unlimited power. D. To replace the Constitution with the state constitutions. Pause the video now if you have to. Did you get it? The correct answer was B. To apply the certain protections in the Bill of Rights to the states.
Moving on to the second question. Which clause of the 14th Amendment is most closely connected to selective incorporation? A. The Commerce Clause. B. The Necessary and Proper Clause. C. The Due Process Clause. Or D. The Supremacy Clause.
Pause the video now.
So the right answer was C. The Due Process Clause. The final question is, selective incorporation has mainly affected the relationship between A. Citizens and foreign governments. B. State governments and individual rights. C. Congress and the military. Or D. Business and labor units.
Pause the video now.
The right answer is B. State governments and individual rights.
Congratulations! How did you do? If you got a 3 out of 3, you're good to go for the AP exam. Hey guys, we really hope you learned something from this video about selective incorporation through the 14th Amendment. We hope to catch you next time, and go with Sam and Brian. Peace, guys.